Hello and welcome. I have just managed to get all of my technology doing what I need it to do. It has been one of those days, but we are here for the wrap up of our Thrive retreat. This has been such a powerful weekend for a group of moms who are ready to step into avoiding unnecessary conflict with their teens, really standing strong as a beacon of love for their kids. And I'm so excited to share some of their aha moments of the weekend with you. So if you are here with me live, go ahead and just post some hearts and likes because that's how I can see you on my screen. So go ahead and do that, and let me just scroll here so that I can see you. I'm working with two things at once. I'm here on my phone and I've also got my computer, and this is a first for this way of doing things. So go ahead and send some hearts and likes. I can see two people are viewing right now. So, oh, there we go. I can start to see you. That's perfect. Beautiful. So I promised some participation prizes. So let me just share what those are for those of you who are here from Thrive, who joined me this weekend. So today you're going to share your reflection at the end of Thrive and also your parenting prayer that will give you some focus in the coming days and weeks. And when you share both of those, I will send you my bedtime bliss package, because one of the biggest struggles that we have as parents, no matter what age our children are, even when they are adults, is being less reactive. I've heard that from almost every mom that I've worked with, that being less reactive is important to them. And one of the biggest ways we can do that is getting enough sleep at night. And as a culture, we do not prioritize sleep in the way that we could, because that's one of the biggest ways that you can support yourself to be present in your own life and present with your family by being well rested. And I cannot tell you the difference that it makes from going to chronically not allowing yourself enough sleep to getting the sleep that you need. And we're starting to see some shifts in our culture. I know Ariana Huffington from HuffPost has written about her journey to understanding that her body needs sleep. And there are more people who are sharing this need that we have to get enough sleep. And so the Bedtime Bliss package includes some interviews that I did with Dr. Larry Rosen from California State University, who really is at the forefront of studying the interface between our technology and human psychology. And he explains really beautifully what happens in our brains so that we can understand why we need to sleep at night. And it really is for our overall physical health and healing, and also our mental health and our ability to use all of our cognitive functioning. I know when we have teenagers, our kids are in school and we keep telling them, use the brain power that you've got and maximize your potential. And yet we can't get ourselves to sleep at night. And that is the biggest way we can maximize our potential, is by getting enough sleep. So Bedtime Bliss is some scientific information to help your brain understand what it needs to get a good night's sleep, and also a guided meditation and a menu of strategies for you to use an hour before bed, half an hour before bed, and how to structure your day so you can set yourself up for sleep. Because what we also know is that all of these screens that are so amazing and that are connecting us right now, this screen, my computer screen where I can see so many amazing things and interact with people, the light from that screen and the stimulation from it actually takes our brains about an hour to shift from that into being prepared to sleep. So we need to put our phones away and shut down the computer and turn off the TV an hour before we go to bed. So Bedtime Bliss will help you learn how to do that. Now, if there's one word that I would use to describe the entire Thrive retreat, it is about practice. Because we've talked about having a practice of forgiveness. We've talked about practicing meditation. And we talked about the similarity between meditation, which is really just about choosing what you want to focus on. And when your mind wanders to something else, pulling back your focus to what you're choosing to focus on. And that's exactly what happens in parenting. We can spend some time really figuring out what is most important right now for our family, what's most important in our relationship, what's most important in our lives right now, and how can we continually bring our children back into that and bring them back in when they are off going sideways, not handing in their assignments at school, wanting to hang out way too late with everybody but the family. How can we gently bring them back into, here's what's most important right now in your life. Here's what we need together as a family that's working together. So it's that practice and the forgiveness practice when we screw up, and we all do. We all make mistakes. We yell at the kids. We're too short. We do something for one child and not the other. People's feelings get hurt. We snap. Our kids are doing all of those things too. And that's why forgiveness is a practice that we get to incorporate into our lives, to be able to forgive ourselves for things that we've done that's hurt people, and forgive our children and our partners for things that they have done that have not been helpful. So in a nutshell, that's what Thrive has been about. Okay, this is beautiful because I'm starting to see, but I just need a little bit more light. So just give me a second. Whoop. I need a little bit more light to be able to see what everyone's reading because I'm facing the window here. So let's see if this will work. Haha. Oh, okay. Is that light going to work for everyone? Yes. Okay. There. Now you can still see me, but I can actually, my screen was so dark because the light was just in my eyes. So this is better. Okay. Hi, Donna. Okay. And Felicia, you're starting to write your reflection. So those of you who are here with me from Thrive, go ahead and write your reflection from the beginning of Thrive, which just started yesterday morning, but we've had 4 calls to really work through some of this content. We've talked about the power of forgiveness. We've talked about the 5 love languages, but also how setting limits and validating our children's feelings also shows them that we love them. And we've talked about how to meet our emotional needs and how to help our teens learn to meet their emotional needs. So that's the content we've been through all together. And I would love to see your reflections coming through here. So I'm going to read Felicia's here. And we've got some people that are just hear the audio. So Felicia is saying, before the retreat, I was concerned about my son's well-being and not providing enough for him. I can see I had a pattern of resorting to fear-based thinking. Oh, Felicia, you and so many of us, that's our default, is the fear. Now I better understand as I treat myself lovingly and fill myself with love, I'm better equipped to support my son and provide an example of being loving and what it feels like. Oh, yes. Felicia, that is so powerful. And I know in sharing it that there are other parents out there who are reading that and thinking, oh my gosh, yes, I can see how my thinking is full of fear and I don't know how to switch out of it. And that's the first step, Felicia, is filling yourself with love and providing your son with an example of what love feels like. Absolutely. Hi, Trisha Beach. I see your hello there. Nice to have you here. Jill says, thank you for the gift of the struggle when I'm faced with uncertainty and feeling uncomfortable. So this is Jill's parenting prayer. Help me to be calm, supportive, validating, and set appropriate limits. So that is Jill's parenting prayer. And I know so many of you will see that and think, yes, absolutely. So seeing the gift of struggle when you're faced with uncertainty, that is an incredible opportunity of seeing it as a gift and knowing that in that moment of struggle, you get to dig deep and find your own strength. You get to open up your awareness to all the resources that are around you, and that there are resources all around you, and this work being one of them, and my Facebook page being another resource, my YouTube channel being another resource, leaning on your friends and family. All of those are ways that you can really see the support all around you. Okay, here's Jill's reflection from Thrive. Before the retreat, I was concerned about the uncertainty of the future. I can see I had a pattern of thinking negatively and reacting instead of listening. Now I understand that being calm and letting them know that I hear them is so effective. Absolutely. And when we really can hear the concerns that our children bring and really think through what might be behind those concerns, which is them trying to meet their emotional needs, when we have that, then we can also understand how practicing listening to ourselves and listening to the information our body is giving us, listening to the kind of thoughts we have in our own mind, also are clues to help us learn how to meet our own emotional needs. And so those things are linked. And so that's why I am always talking about how can you care deeply for yourself and your own emotions so that you can be present with your teen and what their needs are. Those two things come together. So that's why self-care is so important, because that gives us more experience and understanding so that we can be present with our teens. That's how they need our leadership at this stage. So much information is coming at them, but the skills that they really need to learn are how to understand their emotions and how to work with their own mindset. Okay, I'm going to read Donna's. Donna says, before the retreat, I was concerned about my ability to parent my teenage son. I can see that I had a pattern of worry and avoidance that limited access to better parenting approaches. Now I understand that I can and I will nurture my teen with loving leadership, even if it's scary and hard. Yay! Yes, Donna, it can be scary and hard, and it takes every day of being present with it. I can do this better by looking after myself and nurturing my spirit too. Yes, because it is scary and hard. And acknowledging that can be a really great step to starting to care for yourself through that. It is scary, it is hard, it is joyful, it is rewarding. To use the phrase of John Kabat-Zinn, it's the full catastrophe. It's all of that. And really recognizing that this is a period in our lives when we get to really dig deep into our courage. And one of the ways we do that is by allowing ourselves rest, allowing ourselves the time to process our emotions, allowing ourselves something like this retreat weekend where you've spent 4 hours and probably more with the guidebook, really thinking and also feeling through where you are right now in your family's life and what your next steps might be, and really partnering with me to figure that out. Because so often we're parenting from our minds, and when we can drop down into our hearts and allow our heart and mind to work together, that's when we can really create solutions that will work for us and for our family, because every situation is different and it takes your judgment and your wisdom, just like for your children now that they're older. Now that they have the basics in hand, every situation they face, they are using their judgment to figure out how to make wise decisions. And that's really where we want them to be and want to guide them powerfully through that, is helping them use their best judgment. Okay, so Felicia, I'm wondering if you have a parenting prayer. I saw your reflection. If you have a parenting prayer, go ahead and add that in. And Jill, I've seen both of yours. Donna, do you have a parenting prayer that you're going to share? Go ahead and start posting those, and I will share them as they come up. And I'm just going to pop in on my computer here and see who's here. Okay. Sadie, can you hear me? Oh, just a second. I've got my computer on mute, which is odd. Okay, Sadie, try again. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so you're on audio. So you're on audio on Facebook. So do you have your year end? We're just at the beginning of the year. Do you have your end of retreat reflection that you'd like to share?
Yes. What I have realized is that forgiveness is a practice. It's a muscle that I need to keep working out. And I've also realized the importance of mirroring words back to my teens while at the same time setting the limits and feeling empowered as a result of that. And while I don't think I get hung up on the leadership role, what I do know for sure is that when I feel as if I'm a leader in my family, and that is the most important thing to me, and I mean that in a very positive, good way, and feeling that is empowering, and I think that's going to lend to that sense of relief that I've been looking for.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah, what a great synthesis of bringing it all together, because relief was what you were looking for, and now you have that focus and those tools to be able to help you get there.
Yes.
Beautiful. Well done, because that really is your thoughtfulness coming through all of this, of sorting and sifting through what really is it that I need right now. So that is beautiful. Did you create a parenting prayer that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I did. Um, yeah, here we go. So, dear God, thank you for the gift of allowing me to see the parts of myself through my teens that I wish to change, as well as for the parts that open my eyes to what's out there and available. When I'm faced with the stubbornness or the wall, like I'm walking on eggshells, help me to remember to listen with all my love and to breathe in the love particles so it exudes from my being. And my teens will be able to remember and return to that space and that feeling as necessary.
Beautiful. I love that phrase you created, listen with all my love. Beautiful. Love that. Sadie, any other reflections that you'd like to share?
I have so many thoughts bubbling around inside my brain, and I don't know how to articulate them, but I think I still need time to sit with it all. And what I know is that overall, I walked into this not sure what to expect, not sure if I would gain a whole lot, and it turns out that I have gained a whole lot. I think I've gained some insight and into how I can approach every day and how I can be more present. And the mindfulness piece has come up several times throughout the weekend, and that mindfulness piece ties in really well with the listening goal that I've set out to work on. And mindfulness is something that I'm trying as I keep doing my best, and I know I'm doing my best, that's all I can ask for. And so um, just recognizing it, embracing that, and knowing that it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. As long as I know I can put my head on my pillow every night and feel relief knowing that I've done my best, um, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I love that knowing my best is different in this moment than it will be in another moment is so powerful. And what a gift that will be for your entire family when that filters through lots of different moments in your lives, because that's absolutely right. The best that you can do in one moment is so different from the best you can do in another moment. And allowing a little bit of grace and compassion in those moments when we feel like we know what someone else's best could have been and that wasn't it, reminds us to really check in and think, okay, but maybe that was the best in that moment. And now we're in a different moment, and maybe we can do something differently with this moment. So that's so powerful. And Sadie, I'm grateful that you were able to say that you weren't sure if you'd get anything out of it. And I'm thrilled to hear that you did. So beautiful. Thank you, Sadie. Okay, I can see that while we were talking with Sadie, let me scroll through. I was going to read Felicia's parenting prayer. Here it is. God, thank you for the opportunity to grow emotionally. When I'm faced with my emotional triggers and fearful thoughts of what ifs, assist me in filling myself with love so that I meet my son with the gift of unconditional love and acceptance. Oh yeah, Felicia. That is a parenting prayer that will serve you for life. Scream it from the rooftops, write it on your mirror, write a post-it note and put it on the steering wheel of your car. That is so powerful, because in a nutshell, that's it. Is when we are triggered and fearful, fill yourself with love and then take the next step. That is such great wisdom and such a gift for yourself that you have created that. Okay, Donna, here's Donna's parenting prayer. Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to bear witness to the sometimes bumpy road to manhood for my son, and for the opportunities for growth it provides for me as well. When I'm faced with disrespect, rejection, and anger, help me and my family love him as he is, to stay hopeful, connect to the beautiful being beneath the hard shell, and parent with leadership and courage. Donna, well done. That is beautiful. That's another gem. Write it on the mirror, on your dash of your car. I love that you described this bumpy road to manhood for your son. That's it. It can be a really bumpy road to do this adulting thing. And the more we can recognize that, and I love what you said too, Donna, about the opportunity to grow through all of that. That's it. Because as adults, we've come through that stage already of adolescence, and we've developed certain ways of being that serve us well in our lives. And teenagers are the ultimate disruption to all of that, because it's a different time. They're a different person. They're looking around their environment and picking up what they feel like are the skills that they need, and they're trying it out. And it can be painful to watch. It can be painful to watch because they're doing it differently than we did. And sometimes they're doing it just plain wrong, and they're causing damage and harm to themselves, our families. And that makes it challenging. And that absolutely, you're right, Donna, is the opportunity where we grow and learn. And the thing that sometimes we miss about learning in this time and age is that learning can be really uncomfortable, and learning can be painful. And that doesn't mean we're learning wrong. It means that we're learning. And so much of what we do in schools, and I'm speaking as an educator, so much of what we do in schools is try and make it fun and easy. And life doesn't always give us fun and easy. So this is learning. I am just thinking of when I was growing up, our neighbors had 3 kids. They were a bit older than us. And the dad would always say of one of their sons, you know, Lance is going to the school of hard knocks. He's got to learn everything the hard way. And that became their family joke because they knew of the 3 kids. One of them just seemed to have to get into the middle of conflict before he could figure things out. Just telling him didn't do it. He didn't learn it through his ears. He had to learn it through all of him experiencing it. And so that's why at Thrive, we did a lot of work with your heart, your imagination, your spirit, because it's not just about having the information in our heads or hearing it. We have to feel it. We have to integrate it through all of us to know it. So if I can leave you with one last image, it's that knowing doesn't happen up here. Knowing happens through all of us, body, mind, and spirit. And you all have some really beautiful tools to use now. Not only the tools that you picked up through Thrive, but also this incredible prayer that you have created. It's a prayer to remind you that there is support available all around you in every moment. It's in the air that you breathe. It's in the relationships that you have. It's on the internet. It's all around you. And your prayer is you putting up your hand and saying, I could use a little bit of help here. And it's your own reminder to yourself of what kind of help you need. And so I pray and hope that you will put your parenting prayers in a place of pride, in a notebook, in a picture frame, in a journal, somewhere where you will refer to it frequently so that it can be a blessing to you. And your reflection as well allows you to pull together all the things that you've learned and see what it's all about in this moment. And now that you have the guidebook, you can also go through it again and refer to it and listening to the recordings of our calls, because you'll hear something differently a week from now than what you heard right now. You'll pick up one more thing that you're ready to hear. And so allow this work to grow with you as you continue to practice forgiveness, to practice whole body listening, not just with your ears. Whole body listening and listening with your heart and loving as you listen, as Sadie put it. All of that is available to you, and it's just about taking what you have understood now and living with it and walking through it. So to all of you who are watching, and especially those of you who joined me this weekend for Thrive, I honor you, because you entered into this with your body, mind, and spirit open to something new and different, open to seeing things differently and feeling and working with your emotions even though it was uncomfortable. And I thank you for that, for sharing your hearts with all of us, because it really is the power of pulling together a community and understanding that on the inside, there are so many things that we all struggle with. And the more we can acknowledge that that's our common shared humanity, the less lonely it gets in those nights when we are tossing and turning in bed, wondering what we're going to do now. Knowing that this is part of the privilege of raising children is having those sleepless nights and figuring it out one moment at a time. Knowing that everyone is in that can be reassuring, because it also means that there are people around us who have experience that can help us, and there are people who are here just waiting to support us in those moments. So thank you. And thank you also for sharing on Facebook your reflection, what you have learned, and your prayers, because this has an incredible ripple effect, because someone will read your words and feel like everything can be okay. Someone will read your words and they'll say, yeah, I feel ya. I am right there with you too. And this allows people a window of insight to step into what it can look like to see things from a new perspective, and know that wherever you are in your parenting, that there's always a shift that you can make to return to love in your parenting, return to loving yourself, return to loving your children in a way that might have seemed easier at a different stage. So 1,000 thank yous for your presence, your sharing, for those of you who are reading. And if anyone is reading who wasn't at Thrive and you're inspired to write your own parenting prayer, I'd love to see it up here. So go ahead and add your own. Okay, we're wrapping up here. I'm just going to scroll down and see. Hi, Jen. So great to have you here with us. That's awesome. I'm going to scroll down. If there are any last comments from Thrive, any last insights or reflections that you want to share, enter those in now so I can see them. Pop them in here. Okay, so Sunday is the first day in our week on the calendar. What an incredible way to start the week, with some gratitude, a renewed perspective, and really the skills and the experiences to allow you to return to love. So I invite you to join me, everyone who's watching, to put your hands on your heart, because that actually, it's like giving yourself a hug, and it anchors in the reminder of love. And we'll take 3 deep breaths together. There's one. And on the next inhale, imagine particles of love in the air that you're breathing in. One more deep breath. Breathe in the love. Beautiful. Well done. Felicia, thank you. Thank you for joining us and sharing your insight and sharing your vulnerable truth so that we could really see that develop into wisdom. It's really when we can tap into those vulnerable places that we can work through and get to a point where we understand our next steps. Donna's saying thank you for a nurturing and educational weekend. Donna, you are so welcome. So now that you have these gifts, your responsibility is to share them. So take your practice and keep practicing, and allow the ripple effect to spread to some joy in your family, some difficult conversations in your family, so that you can really allow this information that you have, this wisdom that you have throughout all of you, to really ripple through the rest of your life. Okay, everyone, take care, be well.